Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to Nightcrawler's podcast. I am your host, Dusty, as always, and I left my fan on in the background. I was cooking earlier. Anywho, we got a great episode for you today. We got a great panel of guests, and we got a new guest joining us, as well as two returning guests that you guys know. So let's get into it. First, I'll introduce our new guests. We have Holtz. What's up, Holtz?
Good. Just chilling, and I'm, made up that I've been invited just to, kick back and have some relaxing gaming talk with you guys in this late night for me.
Yes. So tell the audience a little bit, where you're from and how you got into gaming.
So I'm from Liverpool, UK, so I'm across the pond from you, and I got into gaming, at an early age through the arcades back in the late 80s. I used to go to a holiday camp over here. It's called Haven, and I used to spend all my time in the arcade. So I grew up with franchises like Tekken, Street Racer, Ridge Racer, Street Fighter, and stuff like that. So,
Nice.
And then it was like about 97. I never had a clue what a PlayStation was, and for one Christmas, my mum came in and just said, "Here you go. Here's a PlayStation," and since then I was just addicted to console, PC, and I've always been a fan of Nintendo.
Awesome. Nice.
So I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you should have grown up," but I felt like I grew up with the industry, so gaming is my main hobby.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's amazing to be able to say that you grew up with something, you've watched it evolve and change over time, as well as change with it, grow with it. I think that's awesome. Definitely. So let's get our next guest in. We've got Jojo Narak up in the place.
What's going on?
What's up, brother? So once again, tell everybody where you're from and what is your favorite game that you're playing currently at the moment?
Oh man. So I stream on Twitch once or twice a week as Jojo Narak. I try to help out. I'm associated with Game Tech Planet a good bit, so I try and help him out as much as I can. As far as my favorite game I'm playing now, out of all the great games I'm playing, just because I'm such a hardcore nerd and fan of this game and the series, is Pokemon Shining Crystal.
Nice.
Shining.
Okay.
Do you know what, Jojo? I was going to say it, but you know what? I've been playing Pearl, Shining Diamond, and Pearl, whatever it's called. Brilliant Diamond.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I get the names messed up myself, but like I had an old school Game Boy, played Blue, fell in love. I never got to get like the Advance or the, any of the Game Boys up until the 3DS. And then when I got the 3DS, I actually went back and caught up because they pretty much, I had them all, either a remake or the original on a DS or 3DS. So definitely feeling the Pokemon right now.
But Jojo, I'm a broken gamer this week because my nieces and nephews have got some Switches there. We're sharing the two games, and I just had to get all three Pokemon. So Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. I was like, what the hell's all these? Because I'm from Gen 1, but my niece and nephews were down my ear to get it. So I must have spent about 6 hours resetting the game 12 times.
Yeah, I know the struggle. Throwing them in the home.
You got to catch them all, don't you? So that's
trade them off. Because home isn't even available on it yet.
Awesome. So let's get our next guest on the show. Last but not least, he's been here before. He is the beard connoisseur himself. He is the pipe wielding. Oh wait, that sounds wrong. Pipe smoking. That also sounds wrong. Let's just get him in here, ladies and gentlemen. As always, Ben from Cloud Trippin' Entertainment.
What's up? What's going on?
How are you doing, brother? How are you today?
I'm doing good. I just, was playing some. I should probably mute my phone because it's yelling at me now. I was just playing some Goose Goose Duck before this, just having some fun with some friends. One of the devs from the game was playing, so I hopped in and played with him for a bit.
Nice.
So
that's what's up. So put a little context to the pipe joke I was trying to go for.
So I collect tobacco pipes and smoke them, and I've been doing that for about 10 or 12 years. Joe's laughing. Dusty's seen the collection before.
They're beautiful, though. They're beautiful
I've
pipes.
seen in the Discords, man. Like I
Yeah.
pay
Yeah,
attention.
they're very beautiful pipes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a hobby. I just go to antique shops and whatever, or my cousin does and sends them to me, and I kind of clean them up, refurbish them, whatever, replace stems if I need to. But yeah, basically I find pipes for like $30 that are worth like 300 or 400 to the right person, but I don't sell them. I keep them. They're just pretty.
Nice. So Ben, before we get officially underway, what game are you currently playing right now?
Forza.
Besides that one.
Goose Goose Duck.
Besides that one.
Let's see what else.
He
am I
doesn't want to
playing?
say it. He does not want to admit
What
it.
brand new game that isn't released yet because it's in beta have you been playing right now, Ben?
In beta. I was playing Unspottable the other day. That's in beta, right? Anyway, what Dusty's trying to get me to say is I've been playing a lot of Halo with him and Joe and Game Tech Planet and a couple other guys.
Yes, it worked. It worked. My ultimate plan was to get Ben to just play for like 30 minutes. Like that was the running joke, right? You know, Ben, just play 30 minutes. It's all good. If if you hate it, just leave,
I think
what I didn't even realize, huh?
I think you needed an evil laugh after you got Ben. I got Ben.
Excellent. No, what I didn't realize is, and I'm surprised we didn't really talk about it the first night we all played together, which was pretty much the first night of Halo multiplayer, was 30 minutes went by like it was nothing, and we were having a blast. You were enjoying the game like right away. And it was funny because even when we were kind of talking about, like some of the things to do in the game at first, because you were kind of like frustrated a little bit at first, like I didn't have any thought that you were going to leave. Like I didn't even think about the running joke we were having, and you were just having a blast. Next thing I know, 2 days later, you're getting the same kind of amount of kills I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Or more, you mean?
Hey, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
And then when you were bragging about getting more kills, like, yeah, but I've captured more zones.
I didn't brag about getting more kills. I told you I don't do that. That's actually what turned me away from first-person shooters, was friends telling me like taking it way too seriously and saying you're not like doing it enough. That's why I don't like that. Like, so when I'm saying, oh, I get these amount of kills, I'm not bragging to like over you, bro. I'm just saying what I got. You know what I mean?
When my friends used to brag about kill ratio, I was like, so what? But I used to have all like the best achievements for being stealthy, long range shooting, co-op stats, and I was more of a team player, never more of a kill death. I'm glad that's roughly out the window for a majority of us.
Yeah.
And like I know it's jokes. It's just because of that, it's left a bad taste in my mouth. Just like how like the stuff like for you, what left a bad taste in your mouth with first-person shooters, like. That's why I try not to do what like those people did, because you're having so much fun. I don't want to turn you off from the game.
But you see, with me years ago, I remember getting the PlayStation 3, and I'm getting online, and I'm playing Resistance, and I'm just having a ball of a time. I'm going, this is the future online. Then a few years later, when Call of Duty and the kids got holds of it, I was just getting bombarded with abuse and stuff like that. So I just switched it off. There was rocket launchers going everywhere, noob tubes, campers, and I just went, none of this. Time to step away.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it all. Let's get the show underway. I had a certain order to the topics, but we're going to switch it up just a little bit. Stadia and Xbox both had birthdays. I had a birthday. It's been a great month. So let's just talk about it a little bit, give some quick thoughts. We won't spend too much time on this. Let's go to JoJo first. Brother, how did you feel just about everything? I mean, it was interesting. Monday was Xbox's birthday, 20-year anniversary. Friday was Stadia's 2-year anniversary. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of awesome. You know what I mean? Just as a gamer, just to be able to be in the mix of both. Obviously, Xbox's was bigger, but it was just kind of cool to see as a gamer in general. What was your overall take of the birthday week? I guess as you can see.
Well, Monday I actually took lunch break at work exactly when the Xbox stream went live, just so I could sit in my car and watch it. Um, Clearly, I'm a big Xbox fan, so that was a big deal to me. Um, it just
Oh, is that what that is? Is that an Xbox hat? Is that why you're a big fan?
I think
Captain Obvious.
the Xbox hat is not necessarily why, more of a cause.
It's comfortable.
But and I mean, I don't have a lush mane of hair around my head, so like I'm also trying to keep glare from shooting off the camera a little bit. I'm doing you guys a favor. Oh, pardon. But the Xbox event was really cool. I could have swore they said they were doing a full release of the multiplayer in the Xbox event, but it turns out it's the beta, which is kind of like I was almost disappointed when I heard that, because I had said that if they do release it, it will be a beta, and I'm like, man, I was wrong. I'm kind of sour about that now. But I also expected to see some Game Pass games hit for, I don't know. Anytime Xbox does an event, they usually drop games on Game Pass, so I was kind of surprised not to see that.
Well, as I said, they didn't do Game Pass, but they did put that massive backlog, the catalog of backlog games or old games and whatever.
Yeah, I did see that. Like you've seen some EA Play stuff, and then just some in general, like some older games, which that was cool. But I was honestly expecting to see something big, like maybe a Cyberpunk or a Battlefield 2042. Just the multiplayer beta hitting, and I guess that's just going to run right until the release. That's pretty big anyway. Like that was more a staple in Xbox 20 years, so I can, that move makes sense. It wouldn't necessarily make sense to drop a game on Game Pass 20 years of Xbox. It's not 20 years of Game Pass, so definitely a lot of respect for that. Now, I am not necessarily much of a cloud gamer, so the Stadia wasn't really an impact for me. I did look at it a little bit. I've tried Stadia before, and it runs beautiful where I'm at. I have a large library of games, and I won't make that switch, So, it was cool to see, though. I seen they had some deals for getting the actual, like, the little device, I guess you could plug into the TV for it with the controller. They had a deal for that. They apparently, I think they ran some actual game deals on their digital store. So I mean, it looks like
Some pretty good ones, actually.
Yeah,
it looks
really
like
good.
they did a good job for their community.
I'm thinking of doing RDR2 on Stadia because that deal is.
I think that's on sale on Xbox too, isn't it? For the same price.
Is it really?
Xbox
Well, I
has
already
their
have it on
Black
Xbox.
Friday sale running live now.
Yeah,
I
I
already
think it's the
have-
same price on both, but the difference is Xbox wouldn't be in the cloud
Yeah.
unless you were just doing the online version.
Well, I have it on Xbox already because I bought it when it first came out. But I've been wanting to have it on Stadia because there is a community of people that I've gotten to know over the last maybe year or so.
That's like Ray's go-to game.
Yeah, and they play RDR2 a lot. Like there's actually a good community for that game. And sometimes I just like being in online and not really interacting with anyone, but just knowing that there might be other people running around and the world itself is there in front of me. But with Stadia's hardware, it would be nice to finally get to try that game. That's a game I've always wanted on Stadia. Like when I think about the hardware of Stadia compared to other platforms, that game, it just intrigued me. So now seeing it for $30-$40, for the Ultimate Edition, that's awesome. So
I kind of have a question about something Joe said earlier.
Yes, sir.
Joe, my question is, who has more hair, you or Game Tech Planet?
Definitely Game Tech, man. Definitely Game Tech, like without a doubt. Like, dude, I started losing my hair at like the age of like 20. So,
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm sitting here, like, I secretly got hair on me over all you guys right now.
Wow. Holt, how do you feel about this birthday week?
Well, you know what? Where time goes, you know what I mean? 20 years with Xbox, I was like, woohoo, yay. But I remember looking back going, what games did I used to play? And I was like, Lost Odyssey, Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Fable, Mass Effect. I'm like, wow, how these franchises has just moved on and evolved over time. So I was like, well, hey, I can at least say that I was there day one with this
Yeah.
console and this franchise. So to me, I feel like I was part of something. To a lot of other people and fanboys, they'll go, "Oh, it's stupid. It's only a stupid anniversary." But to me, I'm like, you weren't there. You didn't experience all this brand
Yeah.
new tech, the ups and downs, the
Yeah.
Xbox Live, making new friends. Me and my friends used to sit off the best times of our life, couch co-op playing Halo and Gears. We were just there for hours, just constantly playing it. So it was good times over the 20 years, and hopefully another 20 years more. I hope I'm here in 20 years from now going, wow, Xbox 40 years. Maybe my hairline will be back. But on the Stadia bit, I feel exactly the same. 2 years, I'm glad it's here. I was a bit disappointed with the show because I was expecting Phil to come on the stage, show some logos, and my mind would have been hyped for next year. What, is that a Warner Brothers game? Is that a Bandai Namco game? But it was nothing. But I was happy to at least talk to the community that we've been around here for 2 years and hopefully a few more years to come. So
Awesome.
One thing I want to say, like that just reminded me what Halt said is, being around for day one of Xbox Live. Xbox Live was a completely different thing back then. Like everybody talked to each other. The communication, like because it was so new, everybody used it, and that was really an awesome time to be on Xbox Live.
But I want to quickly say I hate this time of year as well because this is the time of year I go to storefronts and I see the games and I go, oh, look, discounted heavily. And I go, why did I buy it a few months ago at full price? I've not even finished it. So now my wallet cries seeing these amazing sales on Xbox and Stadia. So I'm a bit jealous.
Cloudbusters has a great question. Would you say Stadia is a 2-year-old? Yes. And now Xbox will be able to go to the club soon and drink alcohol legally.
Hey, me and Xbox over here, we drink at 18, so me and Xbox have been working for years.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Xbox
from,
UK is good, right? Xbox UK, Xbox Europe.
Xbox's cousin is
yeah.
Club,
So this behind this green screen, me and Xbox just get along. Woo, poles, drinks, the lights.
Xbox 40 years, no one will have hair. Oh God.
I kind of want to go back. I kind of want to go back and rewind the podcast just like a couple of minutes to back when Holtz went woohoo because it kind of reminded me of Mario.
Let's go.
I just want to take that and just like paste it over a face of Mario.
What is it? Woohoo! Wahey! Ha
You gotta forget. Don't forget the yippee.
Yeah.
Owned just on your face. Nice.
Yeah, but he always done it, didn't it, when you should jump off Yoshi. Wahey! And Yoshi should go off the cliff edge. See you later, Yoshi.
I used to just do that to like bother my sister, like annoy the crap out of her. She's like, "Stop doing that, man! Stop making that noise."
Well, there's Dusty jumping around the house doing a skip jump. His mum's like, "Oh, my boy's into long jump." He wasn't. He was just into Nintendo.
Pretty much. Nintendo and/or Batman the Animated Series. As a kid, that was my everything. Oh my God. So, any other points we'd like to make about Stadia's birthday or Xbox's birthday before we get to the next topic? No? All right, cool. Thanks. Quick and easy. But anyways, just to close it out, happy birthday to both Xbox and Google Stadia. The only thing I'll close this topic out with is that whether it's 2 years, 10 years, or 20 years, it's not easy being in this business. And
it's not easy being green.
Right. Especially Holtz. So
yes.
Please, somebody
me and my green duck friends.
Can somebody clip him and do something with his background, please? He's been asking for it. But
with or without the duck.
Just keep the duck, but take away the word. Yeah, whether 2 years, 10 years, or 20 years, it's not easy being in this industry, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And how you bounce back from those mistakes says everything. But at the same time, nothing happens in a day. And so whatever we want to change or be better or correct itself, it's going to take time. I just hope that in Xbox's case, in the next 20 years, they continue to innovate and elevate. And in Stadia's case, I just hope they continue to put themselves in a position to do what is necessary so that there can be another 2 years added on by another year to where we can celebrate a 5-year. Whatever that may look like, whatever that may be, we shall see. But coming from me and Nightcrawlers podcast, it's all positivity for now, right? So let's keep it 100. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Now, Forza Horizon 5. We've all been playing the game, right? Yeah? Okay, cool. It's a beautiful game. Everybody knows it. It's absolutely fun. Everybody knows it. It's breathtaking. Only those who have played it.
Everybody knows it.
No, only those who have played it know it. Because it is breathtaking. So
You're breathtaking.
I knew that's what he was going for. I wasn't going for it though.
The door is open.
There's Ben and Dusty. No, there you are. No, you are. You really weird.
So, with that being said, it is absolutely amazing what Forza Horizon 5 and the people at Playground Games have been able to do with this game. Forza Horizon 5 has hit 10 million players, and most likely still climbing because, people just get on and get on and get on whenever they feel like, right? This is insane. If people watching this don't know why, like if you haven't seen any other video on YouTube, which if you're watching this video, I would assume you've seen other channels, and that's why you've seen this channel. But if you don't know, like, this is the highest grossing game in Xbox history. At first it was Game Pass. Now it's just Xbox, period. 1 million plus people, almost 2 million people bought some form of this game, the premium edition or the premium add-on bundle, prior to 4 days before launch. And now, when the last time we talked about this, I had said 5 million players in the title. Nobody confirmed that yet. The last confirmed number I saw was 4.7, 4.8, right? But I said, fuck it. This thing is going to take off. And I called it. It hit 5 million. I thought it was going to stop around 7 or 8. It is now at 10 million.
It hasn't even been a month since launch.
Bruh, for lack of a better phrase, holy shit. Sorry if people are offended. This is kind of more of an adult-centric show, so, sorry. But holy shit. Like, 10 million players, highest grossing game of all time for Xbox. Like, somebody tell me how they feel. Open floor. Somebody just take it. Because I thought it was crazy just thinking about it. Like, oh, that's crazy. You scroll Twitter and you see it. Oh, dang, like, retweet, that's crazy, But now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, that's freaking crazy. Somebody tell me, like, what are their thoughts on this?
Well, to me, I'm actually really made up seeing the 10 million because I've always been that gamer that's always been banging on about friggin' Forza. And I always feel that a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's only just Forza. But now seeing the numbers, I'm glad to see that there's multi-million of gamers actually saying, yeah, Holtz, I agree with you. Forza is an amazing game to play. So to me, I feel like I'm part of a community once again in this amazing racing game. But I do have to say, I do feel a little bit burnt out by Forza Horizon 5. And it's not because it's a bad game. It's just I think that number 4 was also an amazing game, well optimized. And I just feel like it's not new enough for next gen. I'm happy to play it. I'm happy to drive around. But I just don't feel like the extra features that they put in actually caters to me. So I feel a bit put off by my own expectations, but I am so glad to hear the news that a lot of people are playing it.
And I can definitely see what you're saying with that, because like if you've played Forza Horizon games, like you'll know that Forza Horizon games are freaking amazing looking. Like one thing you can say about a Forza Horizon game, at least from I'd say 2 and on, because the first one was on the 360, I believe. That one doesn't quite hold up as well now, but 2 and on, if you go back and play those, I think you'd be fairly impressed at what they did at the time that they did it. Some of the little things I've noticed that they really seem to hone in on is like driving around water, like the reflections are very vivid. They've done some things that are very detailed with this game as far as upgrades go from 4 to 5. So I can definitely see what you're saying there, Haltz, with that one.
But the funny thing is, I know there's a story mode. There's like a story behind just driving around like this Mexican countryside. But to me, I usually put Spotify on, and for some strange reason, my Series X doesn't let me balance Spotify and the voiceovers in game. So I'm just driving around, listening to my tunes, and I just see the story just going past me. You need to go and find Granddad's car. You need to do this. You need, and I'm like, who cares? I'm just racing, going brum, brum, thinking I'm cool. I haven't got a clue about cars. Don't know about the licensing. I just know it looks pretty, goes fast, and that's me. That's me all over, and I keep on coming back to this style of game.
Yeah, the open world of it is just freaking amazing. I mean, as far as I wasn't really super duper surprised to see 10 million. I know that's a lot, but given my history with Forza Horizon games, I think that's well deserved. And if people are just getting into the series with 5, they're going to be completely blown away.
I mean, that's how I've started the series. I didn't play any of the other ones. I know that a lot of people, they think, Need for Speed, and they think, Grid and so many other games over Forza when it comes to racing games. The Dirt franchise, like those are always, when you think racing games, you think games like that, F1. Um, Forza has always been technically just impressive and beautiful with every version. It's what they strive for. But in this case, like people are seeing, not only is it beautiful and cutting edge, but it's also fun. And people are giving it a shot, which is great.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Playing Forza Horizon 4, that was my first Horizon game because it had been a long time that I had gamed like at all, and during Black Friday 4 years ago, I got the 1S because it was on sale for $189 at my local Target. And so when I played Forza Horizon 4 for the first time, I wasn't even on the best TV. And I was already blown away. I was like, God, this looks amazing. I mean, granted, it was a good TV. I just wasn't on the best TV, but it looked amazing. I thought it was great. And I was just on the 1S. Now that I have the Series S, which is just so far from the 1S, in my opinion. Like I have the 1S hooked up to my living room TV right now. And the Series S is obviously like underneath my desk right here for streaming and whatnot. The difference is like night and day for me. It's completely different. With Forza Horizon 4, that game is absolutely beautiful. But it didn't look realistic to me. Playing the game, I could tell that it did not look completely realistic to me. Especially when I was around like the houses and cottages and stuff. I could just look at things and it just looked I could just tell it was still animated. When I'm in 5, every time I go into Horizon 5, I'm like, holy shit. Because, like, okay, there's a YouTube video. I'll try to link it in the description after the show. I need to find it again. Somebody did a side-by-side comparison of these spots in Mexico correlated to the spots in Horizon 5. It's ridiculous. All it looks like is somebody just tweaked the lighting on a photo and said, this is a side-by-side. That's how realistic to me 5 looks. But 4, like I said, that was even before 5 came out. However, I felt like 4 was such a monumental feat of what they were able to do compared to other games that were coming out at the time. So I still thought it was beautiful. But like I said, there were just little things that I noticed that at times would take me out of that realism because I would notice that. So far in Forza Horizon 5, there really hasn't been something that takes me out of that realism. You know, I'm having a blast with it.
Do you think it's
myself.
because your display? Because usually when new consoles come out, I always upgrade my displays. So I actually went for a display that sort of matched my console back then. So, full HDR, 4K. When I seen Forza Horizon 4, I was just blown away by the quality and the colours.
Same,
And
yeah.
it was in the UK. And I think that was thanks to the telly. So now I actually seen an advertisement just the other day for 5, and you're working with LG OLEDs. And I was like, that's exactly the type of branding you want to say. Not like that everyone should go out and buy these OLEDs, but it's great to see you can match the power with a powerful display to show an amazing game off.
Yeah. I would say that's a good question. I would say at the time, the TV we were using with the 1S made sense. I can't exactly tell you complete specs right now. I have to look again. Like it's a Sylvania TV. Don't ask me. But it was good enough then, and like I said, it was beautiful then. I played 4 recently on my Series S, and I saw the exact same things I saw then. But it didn't bother me. It wasn't like I turned the game off because of it or anything like that. It was just, like I said, these are just little things, that would take me out of it at times. Yes, I have upgraded my display, so that has a lot to do with it, especially the fact that it's 144 hertz display. But when I ran 4 on this display, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It is gorgeous. But there is such a complete difference between 4 and 5 to me. It's as I said earlier, breathtaking.
I don't know. I played 4 a good bit on PC, and I can tell you there was a monumental difference of 4 between my 1S versus my PC. And it's not like it wasn't even top tier for the time I was playing it, but I was able to run it on some decent settings there, and I mean it was absolutely phenomenal, the things they were doing with gaming then. So I know some of the I'm not a very big tech person, but I know some of the design that they used in this one, when they first announced it, leading up to the game's release, I'd say they did make mention of some of the the graphics slash texture techniques they were using to make the graphics look the way they were in the game. And I think that probably is one of the biggest reasons you can put the pictures side by side and see the same thing, because you're damn near putting 2 pictures of the same place side by side.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have to see this video.
But I would love to be the cameraman. I would love to be that person that gets paid to go around the world, see all the sights. I sit there with me fancy top of the range equipment, and I just
for this game,
watching sunsets, the rain come in. I just love to sit there with the cars eating me butty. Like, wow, I'm working for Microsoft, capturing everything. It must be amazing to be
to be able to capture something like this, because they were taking vehicles around to be able to capture a lot of this, right? Which is interesting because I see a lot of vehicles driving around my areas sometimes, and they don't look like they're necessarily just for a scientific company or or a robotics company or whatever kind of company. I don't know. It's interesting. But something like this, God. That's all I can say.
Unless you look at it really closely, you can't even tell that it's a game. It just looks like photography.
You really can't.
I mean, when you look closely, you can tell. But if you're not paying attention, you'll just assume that somebody took an epic shot.
Go ahead.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I remember back in the day playing Medal of Honor Frontline, and I remember seeing that opening scene. I went, "Wow, this game looks so realistic. It's never going to get better." How I was wrong. So maybe in a few years I'll look back and go, "Oh, I can see the pixels on all that. That doesn't look real at all."
See, that is the crazy part. Is right now it's things are blowing us away, and in the things that these companies have been able to do, and what they'll be able to do come 2022, because there's a lot of bangers dropping in 2022. that we are going to look back on a lot of this stuff and see what holds up and what doesn't. And that's the crazy part, because right now this is like insane what we're looking at, quote unquote. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Any other last thoughts on Forza Horizon 5 hitting 10 million?
Just one more thing I'd say is that this is also one of the most accessible Forza Horizons that have come out. I would even go as far as to say that from what I understand, I've not tried Forza Horizon 5 on xCloud, but I did try 4, and 4 was pretty bad on xCloud.
It's a huge difference between them.
So if this is running as well as I hear it's running, this makes it, all the more tempting to go out and get that Game Pass subscription with xCloud.
Yeah.
But I definitely love accessibility options. The more the merrier. Because I used to struggle in games, like when I used to go to the map area, and then I used to have this little stupid circle. But because it wasn't like a solid color, or I couldn't change the opacity or the transparency, I used to always struggle trying to get the marker directly on the pinpoint. And now with this game, I can actually change all the transparency, opacity, and I just feel like the map pops out for me better now. So it's good to actually see these options available in game.
Agreed. Forza Horizon 5, 10 million strong.
But do you think that's successful? No, we say 10 million, but do you think it's successful about the numbers of Game Pass users?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know how many Game Pass, but I know Microsoft said they're happy with their Game Pass members count. So I wonder, does 10 million reflect good on Game Pass?
That is a good question.
I would say, according to estimates, because we don't know for sure, it's been a while since they revealed the number of Game Pass subscribers. Sure. But this feels like it's about 10% of Game Pass players are playing this game, which I would say is a pretty high number. Like, if they're actively playing it all the time, that's a really good number.
Yeah, because you don't want them people where, like, you say 8 million, she just signs up for $1, played it for a month and dropping out. You don't want that type of bear, because it'll look bad, wouldn't it, for the game?
Maker of Chaos has a point. Forza Horizon 4 was on Game Pass and didn't have near the amount of players.
Yep.
And Forza Horizon 4 ran absolutely horrid.
Now, granted though, as being a long-time Game Pass... Okay, I should say this.
Or xCloud, should I say. My bad.
Yeah, xCloud.
Being a long-time Game Pass connoisseur, but a not as long, but long-time Game Pass user, Game Pass was not being marketed nor used in the way obviously it is right now. And that would have a big reason to do with why Forza's numbers weren't as big. Because I'll be honest with you, I bought Forza Horizon 4 not knowing it was going to be a Game Pass game, because it wasn't something they were telling anybody. Game Pass was still very new. It was this catalog idea, like GameFly, type of competitor thing. And, I joined it, but nobody really knew if it was something to take serious. Some people really liked it. So if you met those people online, they would convince you to sign up, but that's probably about it. But then after Forza Horizon 4, I started to really see the benefit of Game Pass. And not too long after that is when they started to add the Ultimate tier and shoved live with it. And I was like, hell yeah, because I was tired of paying for both. I actually quit Game Pass, I think maybe for 2 months before I joined Ultimate. And because that's when they brought it out and said, okay, we're going to merge the two together. If you want Ultimate, this is what you get. And that was like the birth of what we know now,
But I think I was harping on about Forza Horizon 4 on cloud, because I've never had a bad experience with xCloud. Never, even in early years. And people go, you're lying. I'm like, no.
No, same.
I've known a few UK people that says, yeah, xCloud runs for me. And people are going, why aren't we getting it? It's all about location for cloud, isn't it? But to me, I was actually really enjoying these games coming to the cloud. And when
have you ever Holtz, have you ever had like random people just like message you from time to time and just call you an absolute liar that no, these cloud platforms do not work for you, bro? Like, sorry, they don't.
Well, no one seems to mess me to say that, but I've seen people when I've been
I
on
have.
podcasts before, and they actually say they question it, and I'm like, Duncan, that's on Cloudy and stuff like that. He actually says like he agrees with me that we were playing on live 10 years ago, and we had great internet infrastructures even back then. And people go, "What? You never had them speeds 10 years ago?" I said, "We did." And now I feel like they've optimized cloud well that you can play on a low bandwidth setting. So when these people are saying you're lying, it's impossible that you're enjoying a game at that standard, and I can't. And I'm like, dude, just calm down. It's all about location. It's all about where you are to the data center and as well. But to me, I'm just saying to you, I'm not trying to get you to come to cloud. That's your decision. I'm just trying to say to when someone asks me the question, "What's your experience?" I'm like, it ran good. It ran
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. The only time I had issues with xCloud or any other cloud platform remotely, because I've actually sat down and thought about this, like what was my most major issues that I've ever had? It's always been just not having good enough connection. Like, it was never like the platform just sucks for me. The game's broken because of the platform it's on, because it's in the cloud. Like, it was never anything like that. It was always just me testing if I could do it on 4G LTE, if I could do it on the Wi-Fi at my job because they got 50 up, 50 down. You know what I mean? Like, it just things like that. But obviously, you do get server issues from time to time, but it happens on PC, it
So
happens on
it was
console. So that's normal.
it was that good. I had Game Pass for PC, and it was like half the price. And I was playing Game Pass through Shadow. That was my initial experience with Game Pass.
Nice.
And then as the price was going to hike up, I was like, wait there, I don't want to pay extra price. So what I done was I got 3 years Xbox Live on the dirt cheap, the wink wink on certain sites, and I upgraded for £1. So I got 3 years for the price of literally 1 year of Game Pass. So that's how. So I've got like 2 years left. So I'm heavily invested in Game Pass because I've seen where it was going. So
Yeah, when they combined Game Pass and Xbox Live, like I ended up having like I don't know 8 months left on like my live, and I think I had like a year left on my Game Pass, and I ended up getting like 2 years out of the whole deal. I was like super happy with that transition, and I think that they honestly to promote their Game Pass Ultimate, I think that that was ultimately a business move and a very smart one because they made a lot of their people happy when they made that. When they signed up for Game Pass Ultimate and it combined everything, you ended up getting X amount of time like that you didn't think you were going to get. It didn't like meet in the middle of in between them. It almost added them up.
Ben, is
Yes.
Maker of Chaos 12 busy right now? Does he want to join the panel?
I'll invite him in. Hold on, I'll send him the link.
See if we can get him on. Spontaneous. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. Would anybody else like to make a point while we try to get Maker of Chaos 12 in?
I don't know. Earlier,
He
I
said
heard
one
Holtz.
sec.
Earlier, I heard Holt saying something about playing arcade games back in the day, and that made me reminisce a little bit about some The
I have Ant Stream.
Simpsons and
I
some,
love
I
some
remember playing
Ninja
The
Turtles.
Simpsons, Ninja Turtles. I used to be obsessed with Michael Jackson
Oh
Moonwalk.
my
Oh
god.
man,
I love
Jesse,
that game.
Jesse,
Aliens
if you want more retro games, he said Ant Stream, but also check out Pipe Hacker.
I saw that the other day.
Vet uses it. It's a lot of fun.
You're like my cell phone. You're listening to me.
And then later years, I
Listening
was
to you.
playing like House the Dead and stuff like that. With all
House
the
of the
gun
Dead
shooters.
and Time
Yeah.
Crisis.
Yeah, and then there
Dang,
was a Terminator 2 game.
bro.
Yeah,
Terminator 2 with these big rumble guns. That was
Yeah.
Dude, if I was able to pull up
Had the
Time
little
Crisis,
grenade
I didn't think
launcher.
about this.
It was the
my
button
wife,
though.
my wife loves those arcade games. Like one of our dates, we went to the arcade just to play those games because she wanted to. So, like,
Well, I used to get away with murder because, like, them coin machines used to drop coins, used to bounce down, and
yeah.
then push the coins off. Well, each weekend I used to get a lollipop stick, and when the coins used to get stuck at the bottom of the tray, no one ever knew this, but you used to get a lollipop stick and knock them all out. So I was knocking all these like quarters out, going each weekend, and then just putting it in the arcade.
So let's do an impromptu introduction. We have on the panel joining us, late but always on time, so to speak, the man, the myth, the legend. No, not Ric Flair. Maker of chaos, everybody.
Oh my God, it's Maker!
What's up?
Maker, woo! Right, mother. Oh, so Maker of Chaos, thank you for joining us on Nightcrawler's podcast. It is awesome to have you here with us. Please tell everybody here a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you're currently gaming on.
I'm Maker of Chaos. I play just about anything. Just picked up Deathloop recently, so I'm probably going to be playing that soon. I just beat Metroid Dread. Recent games that I've played on the cloud, Floor Kids on Stadia.
Yes.
And I need to get back to playing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Awesome.
But on the GeForce Nows. But
are you on the 3080 tier?
Yeah, I am.
Awesome.
It's really nice.
I'm glad you said Floor Kids. I don't know if you know, I am a longtime professional dancer.
Dusty was so mad when they Dusty was so mad when they put that on Pro because he bought it like day one and then like 2 weeks later it was on Pro. It was hilarious.
Let's just say, if anybody knows about my not best moment on Twitter in the last half year, it was because of Floor Kids, and I kind of let Grace have it a little bit. So
He got
I did
so mad at
apologize.
Stadia.
I did. I did apologize. I did retract. And when I contacted them, it actually created some change. Now you're not really seeing them do that. So it actually became something. I guess my unwarranted anger helped, right? But that's awesome. And then finish as you were saying.
Playing a lot of Halo. You know, I love me some Halo. And play a little bit of Forza from time to time. Try and get a spin about a day or two. You know, trying to get those cars, and just playing games in general.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Huh? I think Maker of Chaos should enter and goes, "Hi, I'm Maker of Chaos, and I bring you chaos. I want it." Just does have a quick intro song.
I will say this though, that background you have right now is awesome. That is freaking awesome.
Is that an Elden Ring background?
Yeah, I just
I can't wait.
I was able to play the network test, so
I never got the email.
How was it?
It was a lot of fun.
You know what? Look, since we have a little bit of time, tell us what are your thoughts on the test for Elden
Ring? It's very interesting. I love the little mini dungeons that you can find around the map. They did close off like a subsection of the map that I could not explore, I could not delve into. So there wasn't a lot. I say a lot. I spent like 8 hours playing the game. So if that tells you something, and I got to one major boss and that was it. And then like a mini boss after that. And then the end of the network test was right after that.
Awesome.
But there's a lot of little small bosses that you can fight just scattered around the world.
Okay.
And it's a bit more expansive than I thought. I thought you were only going to be walking on the tops of the island, but you can actually, there's sections by the beach that you can walk along, and there's new mechanics and stuff like that I was really shocked with. The fact that you can imbue your weapon with what's called it's like an act of war or something of the nature, where it gives you a free spell basically without using a spell slot. So you can get like a lightning attack or a wind attack or whatever, and it's based off your stats too. So it deals damage based on stats.
So my slot would be: does it have a healing spell?
I didn't see one in it.
Generally, Dark Souls games, and that's basically what this is, do have miracles, which do have healing spells.
That's what I'll be spamming. Heal as a
the Prophet, which is kind of the faith build, which usually delves and heals. It starts you out with an attack spell where it like slings these like wind blades, and it's so strong. But you're like a mage, so you're really weak at the same time, so you can't get hit. But yeah,
That's
it's great.
awesome. That's awesome. The Elden Ring. Jojo, you're looking forward to Elden Ring, huh?
Oh man, I never got into Bloodborne. I did try Bloodborne. I gave it a real good try. I spent like at least 8 hours in it, and I couldn't get hooked on it. I like my sword and shield, or staff and shield, or sword and staff. Like I didn't really get into it just due to a few small mechanics. Awesome game, but it just wasn't for me. But Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, the remaster, Scholar of the First Sin, all those games, Dark Souls, it's definitely an acquired taste, but man, those games are awesome and they look great.
Once you get into it, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm never a shield user. I'm not terrible at parrying or dodging, so I just usually go for like the two-handed weapons. And with a bit of luck, I swing
Platinum.
so slow. Yeah, slow. Hopefully hit them. When I don't hit them, I just sort of run off a little bit, like, oh no.
So, as Ben is making his way back,
He sort of like transitioning from the cloud, like
From the cloud to the kitchen.
Ben, are you gonna play Elden
he sort
Ring?
of
Am I gonna what?
Are you gonna play Elden Ring?
It's like a genie.
he's a
I don't know. I
don't
haven't
know?
decided yet.
I will.
Is it by George R. Martin? Is it a game? Is it based on Game of Thrones, like people were saying?
Inspired, I believe. Like, so I think he helped a little bit out with it.
With the story and everything.
If he's
So what-
not the main,
that's cool, though.
if he's not the one making all the money on it, then I'll probably play it.
So what he's done is all the stuff that he was going to put in the future books, he's took it and ran with the game. So that's what he's done. He's took all the good stuff from season 8 and just put it in this game.
If that's what happened, then I'm not playing it.
One thing I will say that I really liked about Elden Ring is the ability to summon players is right on the outside of the tutorial area, and the tutorial area is the easiest it's ever been,
Okay.
and it automatically gives you an item that will allow you to summon players and to summon enemies as well.
How many players can you play up to with? 3 others?
I think yeah. I think it's 3 others. It's
4-player
either
co-op, right?
I think it's 4, but I didn't fully test out. I was only summoning up to 2 people
That's
because
cool.
if you scale, or it scales the enemies based off of how many people are in your game. So it's kind of like a Monster Hunter world where the bosses have larger health pools if you've got more people.
That's freaking awesome,
I
guys.
hate it when bosses go harder by axe and putting ridiculous amounts of HP out. I want them to like sort of fight different spells. I just don't want to see a bigger HP gauge.
Cloudbuster says Sekiro.
That was the other Dark Souls game that I have not played. That one's solo, single player only, I do believe.
Yeah.
And no shields. You're very limited in weapons in that game, from what I understand. Like, you do get other weapons, but you're basically dealing with it. It's like a samurai style Dark Souls, I'd say.
Yeah.
Looks really cool, but
That's why I want to play it.
I've not ventured to try it yet. It's on the radar though. One of these days, I'm going to see that price go low enough, and I'm just.
It's not an
It's
easy
on-
game. It's not an
it's on
easy
sale
game.
on Stadia,
Sekiro's
or-
hard.
Was it one of the sale games on Stadia?
Well, it was half off on launch day, like when it came out on
Oh.
Stadia.
But it hasn't been
So
on
I
sale
grabbed
since,
it then
right?
very few times and nowhere near as deep as that first day discount.
Man.
See, with games like this, I think I'm cool at fighting. Pick a few little slashes in, but then when I panic, I sort of run off edges and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So I always punish myself playing these games.
Yeah, panicking is always your weakness in these games because you need to keep your calm, memorize the move set. I mean, if you've played the new Metroid Dread, it's pretty similar with those bosses. You got to watch for certain time periods to attack and do damage and counter. and I like the games a lot. I've played, Demon Souls, the entire Dark Souls series. I've played Sekiro. I've played Bloodborne. It took me a while to get into it, though. I started out trying Demon Souls, quitting like after the first boss, trying Bloodborne, quitting after the first boss, and then going back to Dark Souls 1. And that's when I fell in love with the game. And I played through the entirety of Dark Souls 1, went through Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. I just went through the series, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, to everybody watching this, whether you're catching the live or the replay, if you're looking forward to playing Elden Ring, if you love Dark Souls type games, and if you've even played, Metroid Dread yourself, leave some comments down, down in the comment section. We have our chat going, but leave some love in the comments. Let us know your thoughts and whatnot, and let us know if you guys are going to be playing the game, whether in the chat or in the comments. I know a lot of people are looking forward to Elden Ring. I'm not a big single player game, like story based camp. It's not me. I did start Far Cry 6 though, and that was fun. So I need to go back to that.
See, I love single player games. I just can't stand George R. Martin and don't want to give him any more money.
I think his association with Elden Ring is basically he helped with the story of the game. This is
that's still too much for me. I read so I
what is this
backstory? So I read I read a lot. Dusty knows this. I talk about it.
You do.
And I was on book 5 of the Game of Thrones series when season 1 started airing. I was towards the end of it.
Oh, you want them people, was you? I know what's going to happen.
He's a money-grubbing asshole. Like, that's all he cares about is fucking money. He abandoned the books. For 11 years now, he's been saying, "Oh, book 6 will come out next spring." 11 years next spring, and it's like he went way beyond the book series and the show, and that's why it started sucking at the end. I've refused to watch the show. I was like, until he comes out with the last book, I'm not gonna touch the show.
So you will give him more money if the other book comes out. That's what you're saying. All's forgiven as long as it's a good book.
Not really. He's still an asshole. Like I would probably watch the show if he comes out with the final book, but I still don't want to give him money because he's just.
No, what was the reason for him not?
He's kind of a shitty writer. Like he uses a lot of like gimmicky stuff. Like in terms of fantasy, he's not super popular. Like he's popular with normal people that don't read a lot of fantasy.
You just sound really upset at him. I'm sorry.
I am. Which is why I probably won't play Elden Ring, no matter how pretty that game is.
The savageness is real. All right, so for everybody else that's looking forward to Elden Ring, all right, let's move on to our next topic and probably the final topic. Well, actually, before we get into that, I kind of wanted to ask everybody their thoughts on this and their standpoint. Knowing I don't really judge anyone for having their own opinions and their own thoughts. I have my own opinions and own thoughts. The situation with Activision Blizzard and Bobby Kotick. Now, I don't have full-on details.
Wait, is Bobby the pervy CEO?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure I'm on the same page.
Yes. I don't have all the details in front of me. I just wanted to speak offhandedly about it for a second. With everything that was going on when it first kind of came out, I was excited to play Diablo 2 remake, and I kind of like changed my mind on that personally. And I don't really judge anybody else, by the way. Like, I don't care if people are playing Vanguard or Diablo or whatever. I don't care. This is just personally for me. It just felt kind of weird to pull the trigger on getting the game and wanting to play it and everything because of seeing what was going on. I wasn't going to get the game right at launch anyways, but as things kind of like unraveled a little bit more, I was like, I don't really know if I want this game, because it's just this whole situation is just not turning me on to playing this game anymore, or at least for right now. Now, I also come from a standpoint where there's a lot of great people who had nothing to do with the ugly stuff that's being alleged going on, that are great people that have worked on these games, and I'm all about supporting the devs. But I haven't played Vanguard because of this, not because of this situation. I haven't played it because I just wasn't really that impressed personally. I played, World War II or whatever, and Vanguard is that part too, and that's cool. But I wanted something new this time around. And there's a lot of other games, especially free to play games on Steam, that are set back in the day. So it's like, you know, now I've seen some of the campaign for Vanguard. It looks beautiful. I always love watching the gameplays, like Rad Brad on YouTube, or Hollow, and those people, or even Hove Scorpion 12, our own friend who everybody should subscribe to. I love watching these gameplays, but I just wasn't really like, like you can ask Ben. I love 2042 bugs and all. I've been having fun. I don't really know what the hell else anybody complaining about. I've been having fun. The only time I really couldn't play was because I had to download it, and Shadow was being kind of weird. Then I put on maximum settings, and it downloaded completely fine. So it wasn't the game. But I don't know. Just with this whole situation, and having a daughter, two stepdaughters, a wife, a puppy, a goldfish, a gerbil, an ex-gerbil. She left. I don't like the recent news of Bobby Kotick, like know that he knew things were going on, try to put things under the table, hid things from the board. It's such a mess. And I don't know if he'll be CEO for much longer. So I just wanted to bring this up really quick, just to kind of see different people's thoughts, because a lot of the thoughts that I hear come from the same podcasters generally. So I kind of wanted to get my friends' thoughts, and people I have respect for, new friends, see what you guys think about all of this mess, because it is a giant mess. Whether it's true or not, somebody did die in the middle of all of this. That is true. That part is true. It's a big old mess. Let's start with Ben. What do you think, brother? Give me your thoughts on this.
I haven't been reading too much about it. What was it? Was it sexual allegations that he was hiding? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
But it wasn't sexual allegations against him. It was against his employees.
It was about the whole situation that happened from between the employees and one of the female employees, and the pictures that were going around the Cosby room, the whole allegations about the Cosby room and everything like that.
I mean, all that's despicable. I mean, I've seen an Activision. I feel like Activision and Blizzard, like they've done a lot of shitty stuff over the years, but this is probably about as worst. This is the worst. Like everything else is business. This is social. This is messing with people's lives. It's not cool.
Agreed. Maker of Chaos, how do you feel?
It's messed up. If you knew about this stuff and it's apparent that they haven't really done much to address it or to try and fix the problem, and then when they decided to put what's her name, Jen, I can't remember her last name. It was a female employee that they put in as a co-leader of Blizzard.
Yes.
And the fact that she wasn't paid the same as the other guy, despite all her qualifications and stuff of that nature, it's messed up. And the fact that it took until she said that she was going to resign before they were willing to negotiate it. There's a lot of problems with Activision Blizzard. I played World of Warcraft a ton, and it's been going downhill with World of Warcraft. A lot
I've
of
been
the
hearing
same,
that, yeah.
Very repetitious, and there's no real change formulaic with it. And they needed to change something with this most recent expansion. They didn't, and it's apparent that the company, it's almost like they find what works and just keep repeating and keep repeating and keep repeating, and without any form of like true creativity, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Because eventually people are going to catch on. Look at the sales were down for the new Call of Duty, and granted, yeah, they're doing this stuff, but I do think there's a large audience that doesn't know anything about this, but they see, oh, it's just another Call of Duty. You know, that's another thing entirely. But I just wanted to say he hasn't been running the company properly, and he hasn't been treating serious issues within the company as they should. And personally, I think he needs to go. But that's just my opinion. If you've known about this stuff, you didn't tell your stockholders, you didn't tell anybody that you're trying that this is going on or any ways to address it. You are part of the problem. That's my simple take on it. I think he needs to go, and new leadership needs to be put in place.
Holtz?
I'm that person that, totally respects zero tolerance in companies, but I'm not that type of person that focuses my effort to find this news article. This is the first time I've actually been focused on it or even talked about it. And he's been these claims are allegedly against him or the people that he's trying to cover up. So to me, it's not really about him. It's about the PR image of Activision and how the sort of going forward, you're going to affect all your sponsors and the games going forward. And even Phil Spencer and Xbox are considering to cut ties with them because it's starting to look like Activision is a very shitty place to work. So to me, it's like the PR team need to hurry up, get the evidence to prove if he's innocent or not, find out who is all involved, and get them out of the company ASAP. Because in today's world, as I say, zero tolerance for this behavior. But to me, overall, I don't really care about Activision games. So if these games get delayed and stuff like that, it's not for me.
Jojo.
So I'm basically the opinion of when Ben said, "Oh, he's the pervy CEO guy." That's about what I know. I did read, kind of like Holt said, I kind of found out that things were getting serious about it the other day when I was scrolling through Twitter and I seen the about Phil Spencer wanting to evaluate his relationship with Activision Blizzard. And I actually text Game Tech at the time. I'm like, "Yo, man, did you see this? Like, that's some heavy shit right there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, wow." And he's like, "Yeah, man, that he was saying basically like, yeah, that CEO needs to go." And from what I've seen after I did look into it, because I was wondering, I'm like, what's Sony doing? Because they're the other big fish there, and apparently they're kind of in the same boat, just a little ahead of Phil Spencer, from what I understand.
Yeah, they were first actually, and then Xbox followed up immediately after, confirming that they're standing together on this.
So
Which is interesting because Drake and Kanye are now standing together for an important issue as well too, which is Larry Hoover. So it's interesting to see people coming together, doing something real.
Yeah, and I also, when I was having that conversation with Game Tech, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
What if he turns the heads of Microsoft and all of a sudden Blizzard, Activision, Battle.net launcher doesn't work on Windows? And the first thing he said is like, that will never happen. But could you imagine the fallout of that? Like,
even taking certain games off or whatever.
That's World of Warcraft. That's Warzone on PC. That's so much. It's all the Diablos on PC gone. Like,
or not even taking them off, but just stopping sales. Like if you already bought it, like okay, but just nothing after this now.
But the fallout of something like that, and I mean, it probably won't happen, but it's a small possibility. That could be huge, and I think they're going to basically get to a point in Activision and Blizzard that this guy has to go for the sake of the company.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It whether people want to call it allegations or not, there has just been too much from what I've seen to where it's hard for me to say that this isn't true, and that, you know, the CEO does need to go. Um, it was posted by the Wall Street Journal, so obviously there
My,
still needs to be more things coming
Well,
out because we don't
does
know.
my advice, get rid of him, and if they feel like they need a CEO, they can go fucking get Phil Harrison.
Yeah, for real, because Stadia could really do
Well,
without him.
here's one for you.
Just poach him from Stadia. Take him.
If you saw CGX podcast yesterday, you saw my thoughts on that. So, you know, I agree, though.
Do you think he's going to be sacked? Do you think he's going to walk out, or do you think he's going to be bought out to leave?
Bought out. Oh, he's going to have
he's going to get a severance package.
His cut is going to be stupid ridiculous.
The severance packages for guys like that usually run in the millions.
Yeah, it's going to be tens of millions for him. Yeah. Like, I could so see something like, okay, look,
and he shouldn't even.
Our company is going to crash and burn. Here's $30 million. Go away, without, you know, quietly.
Well,
for stuff like that, unless you have actual criminal charges against you, they always buy you out. Like they give you a severance package and make you resign or just fire you.
Boom from Double Barrel Gaming made a good point that because he hasn't upheld his contract to them, that he shouldn't even get anything when he leaves. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but he did have a point when he said that, because when you're in breach of contract, you shouldn't walk out with anything. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to ask. Like, will the PR image against the company still be bad if they actually did buy him out? Because it's like, he should be punished if they've got a zero tolerance in place. He should be like sacked, pushed away, and shamed. So I think if they do buy him out and he goes off, I think a lot of fans will go, "Oof, that's not the company I want to work or invest in."
No.
They don't have to disclose that though. Like they can keep they can still pay him out and just dodge the question. They don't have to admit that they do it.
It'll get out. Everything gets out.
Yeah. In today's climate, I don't know. That's hard. You mean, you have a point, but it's also hard because things get out more easier than they used to. I don't know. It's just it's a horrible mess, and to the good ones at Activision Blizzard, I will say I'm sorry that you guys are stuck in the middle of all of this BS. But to those of you at Activision Blizzard that were a part of this, you know, you can burn in hell. So there it is. So let's keep it going. Yeah, let's move on to the last topic of the show. And let's end it on a better, brighter note, shall we? And my eyes look like my monitors, so I apologize for that. They're starting to hurt a little bit.
I realized Dusty went all intellectual on us during that topic and put his glasses on.
Blue light filter, baby. So the last topic of the evening: Halo Infinite multiplayer. Sorry for yelling. What are your guys' thoughts so far? And what can 343 do to improve the game? Those two questions, throwing it out there. Let's make it an open platform, open discussion. Anybody can take it.
My thoughts are,
go ahead.
Holtz, a maker of chaos, should join us tonight and playing Halo.
Hey-o, that's what I'm
No, because it goes against my principle now, because I've just found out it's only beta, and I don't touch beta with
that's
Paul.
I know, Holtz, and I love you, but that's a
what?
stupid principle.
It's only what?
I'd rather have a full release of multiplayer before I actually invest my time into a game.
Oh, come on.
It's a policy of his. He will not play a game, even if it's in full ready status and they're not going to do anything different. As long as it has early access or beta on it, he won't touch it.
Yeah, because like I said, I've been stung by it in the past loads of times, support and stuff, and it's just broken and destroyed.
So you're not a part of the beta boys?
No, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not the beta.
He's a beta cynic.
elevators. With elevators, it's like, I have full faith in the game. When it comes out on full release, and I might actually try it because I've heard such great positivity from Ben the other day.
Have you seen any gameplay at all?
I've seen gameplay from like the trailers and
Okay.
the gameplay footage that Microsoft released, but I've not watched any gamers play it. I mean, I was big into Halo years ago, multiplayer, but I just feel like that my time is better invested in enjoying my single player experiences. I'm a big, huge single player experience. So when the campaign comes out for Halo, I'm going to be blown away by it. And then once I finish the campaign, then I dive into multiplayer. I am not that gamer that plays multiplayer first the majority of the time and then ignores time invested in single player.
Well, luckily for you, as we end on this topic, I would like to give the floor to you to talk a little bit about the campaign, and also a little bit about your history with Xbox. But we'll get, and Halo and whatnot. But we'll get to that in a second. But I did want to give you the floor for that on this episode. Before we get to that, though, Jojo, your thoughts, please, and at the same time, what do you think they can do to improve the game?
Oh, it's a solid multiplayer they got going on in that. I think the time to kill is a little like I'm not used to that time to kill in that game. I don't think that's necessarily odd for Halo. It's just something I'm not used to. It looks great. It plays real smooth. I'm very much enjoying what I've been playing of it. I'm not as good as I used to be at Halo, apparently, but yeah. But I've been having a blast with it. As far as making it better, man, I'm gonna be that guy. I actually would enjoy a battle royale in Halo. I'm gonna go ahead and be that guy.
Because when we talked about it, I got
however, I will never say that Halo needs a battle royale.
Correct.
I will just say that I would enjoy it. Like I would have some fun going into a battle royale just because I play Warzone. I played PUBG when it first hit Xbox. I've done some Fortnite. I've even done some Chicken Royale or whatever the hell that game was.
Animal Royale?
Super Animal Royale.
I still gotta try
Realm Royale, I think, was the chicken one. I've done countless BRs, Apex, and they're just the adrenaline you get from those games is it's almost an addiction. So I enjoy BRs. I wouldn't mind seeing one.
Thank you for clarifying, because yes, that was definitely another point I made yesterday on the CGX podcast. Make sure you guys go check out Cloud Gaming Extreme. Send them some love and some subs. Maker,
I love
how
it.
do you feel, good sir?
It's great. I would say it gives me a lot of Halo 3 vibes. All the equipment's really great. I enjoy using every single one of them. You've got I think the dash or the boost isn't too far. Like it doesn't launch you anywhere or anything, but it's just enough. I think the grapple hook is a lot of fun.
It is,
honestly.
It is.
It's even more fun when you grapple hook somebody in the face and then like melee them at full speed.
Yeah, and I have a lot of fun with it. I distinctly remember, and this is what the equipment's great for, is having these really fun, interesting plays where I remember distinctly grappling onto a rock, swinging around behind the guy, and then meleeing him in the back and killing him instantly. And it was such a beautiful play that I was just like, oh my gosh, did you guys see that? Like
Wait,
that's.
Can you change directions when you're grappling? Can you move?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a straight line.
No, you can.
Oh, you can swing around.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to use that.
No, you
That's
really
a life
Spider-Man
changing
with that thing. Like it's amazing. Like it's so much.
That's a life changing. I had no idea you could do that. I always just went straight at whatever.
Ben's doing that all night tonight.
I had a moment with the repulsor where we were down. We were down by 1 point, and it was I think the enemy team had 47, we had 46, and it was to 50 kills. and I see these two dots coming up the ramp, and it's on what was that map called? It's the like training ground map. There's like a little ledge there, and it just drops off into the abyss. So
yeah, I know which one you're talking about, but I forget the name.
I used that repulsor as they came up, and you just see two people go flying off the edge and die, and boosted us into the lead. And then we got the final 2 kills and won. It was.
See, I think my funnest kill with the repulsor was I had this car coming that had like 2 or 3 people on it, and they were coming at me. They were going to run me over, and I just used the repulsor, flipped the car, and then threw a grenade and killed him.
Oh yeah, that's always great because it like disables it for a second because it's rolling and they're trying to get control of it.
So much fun.
And stuff like that is what I think makes it a classic Halo game to me, like a Halo 3. There was the 4v4 is also really tight and very, very concise. It's where it's very competitive if you want it to be.
Yeah.
So that's good for like kind of the esports or the people who like to take their shooting a lot more seriously. You mentioned.
I'm glad. Sorry to cut you off. I'm glad you brought that up because I discovered as much as I love BTB, Big Team Battle, I'm better in 4v4.
Well, you have a lot more strategy and less chaos. Like when it's you, me, Game Tech Planet, and then my buddy John, like, and we're all talking and communicating, and it's only 4 of us, and we don't have to rely on 8 other people on the team. Like you can get some really cool strategies and techniques and moves done that way. But anyway, Maker Chaos, go ahead. Whatever you were saying before.
I was going to mention. You mentioned Battle Royale. What I love about Battle Royale, I don't think Halo needs one. But to me, the elements are there for a great BR for a battle royale. The drop pods are one of the ones that I'm like would be perfect for like a BR setting. The drop in of vehicles, another great one for battle royale mode. But I don't see that happening until maybe season 2.
Oh.
Since they're kind of going a live service route, I think they're going to be updating it with new weapons, new vehicles, new modes, which Battle Royale might be in there.
I'm glad you said that because yesterday on CGX podcast, I made a point where I asked, do you think that they're waiting to drop campaign to let everyone see Zeta Halo and explore it before adding a BR mode where they drop you inside of that?
Well, I think it goes hand in hand. To be able to run the game campaign multiplayer with other players, you have to account for what everyone else is doing, the explosions they might be causing, the ruckus that they're creating might cause it harder run worse, basically. So you need to optimize it for that, make sure your code's on point. And I think similarly, if they're going with a battle royale mode, they'll need to do the same. And so to me, it's like kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Optimize a big map, probably taken directly from the story mode, and then drop a section of it for battle royale mode. And I think that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like the time to kill is really on point with the battle royale, though. Like in the multiplayer, the time to kill.
There are a few weapons that need to be nerfed and buffed, but I would say more. I think buffed,
AR would probably need to be buffed because to me the pistol is better if you're really skilled at it.
I hate the pistol.
AR is just it's a scatter shot, so it's like it's not as on point as the pistol is. So if someone's really good with a pistol, they'll kill you faster.
I think they need to let you wield 2 gravity hammers.
No.
just dual wield them and just boof like the whole entire squad.
Or a gravity hammer and a gravity axe. Like a battle axe style. Yeah.
You can do those type of things in Dark Souls, by the way.
I do think that they need to open up with more modes. Right now, since there's so few modes, I do know that they're supposed to be dropping more in the coming like weeks.
Yes.
So we'll start to see more of those. But I would love to see like a Slayer playlist, or even, I don't know, some different big team battle modes would also be nice as well. Just separate them.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the other big team battle maps that are coming. I kind of wish they added like one more for the beta, but it is what it is. I only say that because there's one map that annoys the entire crap out of me, and that's the nighttime map with the two opposite.
I love that map.
Turrets. I just hate the turrets. Like, just take out the turrets and I'll be fine. You know. I actually think here's the thing though. There's one other map that we played. I can't remember the name of it. That I didn't really like how it played, but it was such a
one.
I can't remember, but it was such a beautiful map. Like, the designs of these maps are insanely beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but how they play, some of them are a little weird to me. But then again, I just got to get used to them because they're supposed to be different for a reason. But I can't. Like you, I can't wait to see what the rest of these maps look like, and especially for 4v4 and Slayer, as you said. It's nice to see everybody getting a nostalgic property from something about the older Halo games. Like I had said, that for me, it gives me memories of Halo 2 in the sense of playing with my friends. You know, that gameplay togetherness feel that you get from that. You know, it really took me back and whatnot. So it's nice to see that. Anybody else? Ben Holtz? Any comment? Oh wait, sorry, Ben Jojo.
I mean, I think everything has been said about it. I mean, it's a great game. I've been having a lot of fun.
Maker, what is one thing specifically you would like for 343 to improve?
To me, it's custom matchmaking or custom modes, because to me, Halo 3 nailed it with those custom game types that people would create. Infection was one of the ones that came out of those custom game types that people made, and was so famous that it was put in as a real mode in like Halo Reach.
So are you looking forward to Forge?
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't wait for that, just to see what people create and become. But that's way down the road.
What is Forge? Talk about that, because I don't know.
You can basically edit and create your own maps effectively. So you'll have a base template, like pick one of the maps to choose from that they have,
gotcha,
and then build off of it. You can create new things on it, create your own game types.
So it's kind of like the playground mode or whatever on Dirt 5, but for a shooter game instead.
Basically, yeah, and you can like put where weapons spawn and
nice.
You know, set spawn points and stuff of that nature. It's nice.
That'd be fun.
So for everybody watching, if you haven't gotten into Halo yet, it's free to play. Steam, Windows Store, Windows PC app, xCloud, console, crossplay, you know, with wherever it's available on. Season 1 has already started with the beta, which I thought was really interesting because other games would actually not do that. The season would start sometimes even like a few months after the game is released. Apex Season 1 didn't start right after. I remember that. So jump right in, have fun, have a blast. But as we end this topic, let's end it with Holtz. The campaign for Halo Infinite is coming December 8th. As far as we know, there isn't a playable demo coming yet. But, you know, after seeing what happened with the multiplayer being dropped, anything could happen now at this point. But as far as the campaign goes, a lot of people are really, really looking forward to playing this game. For me, I happen to be one of them, not being somebody who's into single player story campaign games as much as other types of games. But when I saw the trailer for this and how it's going to play and how expansive and open the world is, I'm very much excited. So Holt, please take a couple of minutes to let everyone know your thoughts for the upcoming campaign of Halo Infinite.
Well, for me, I don't really care about demos. I just want the game to come out ASAP, because I've got so much faith in this franchise, that this franchise to me defined, gaming. It defined generations. It defined space shooters to me. And I look back 20 years ago, and I was just blown away by the graphics, the character development between Cortana and Master Chief. I just remember hearing the soundtrack, and just remember just thinking like the layers it brought to this masterpiece I thought with Halo. And I remember 20 years ago, I just sat off with my friend, because this is how I used to play Halos. I used to always sit off playing couch co-op. We used to always put on the hardest setting. We used to sit there, me and my buddy, loads up. We used to customize the controller and then dive into this epic story. And it was always just fun getting the pulse rifle going, come on, we're going to kick some ass. The grunts were running at me, the Covenants, and there was nothing funny when you actually chase a grunt down. It was like, they're going to kill us all, because, if a Spartan came running at you, who wouldn't shit themselves? And I remember just thinking, wow, after each game, I remember thinking, I need more and more. And over time, the universe just expanded. First, we only thought it was the Covenant, then it was the Flood, then the Forerunners, and it just brought a whole universe to me. And I just remember just being blown away by it. So then, fast forward a few years, we after finished Halo 5, I was a bit gutted that they never had couch co-op, because I've had this great game experience with my friends. But I remember enjoying 5. But at the end, I was like in tears of this epic moment at the end, that I just thought, so what is next for Halo? So when I seen Halo Infinite, and I saw the openness, we're going to get to see Master Chief again, because to me, it's not Halo without Master Chief. I know that a lot of people were like, oh yeah, what about Halo Reach? Well, Noble Team was great, but we still did see Master Chief at the end. But to me, it's always been about the dynamic between Master Chief, what he has to go through to protect Earth. And that resonates with me quite a lot and my friends. So when this game comes out, I am just going to do backflips, because I know in my gut and heart, this is going to define a generation, and it's going to define the cloud. I can't wait until trying this game on my Series X and going, wow, this looks beautiful. It plays good. The effects, the gameplay mechanics, it's just going to be amazing. And then also, like I said, I'm going to be blown away that this type of quality now from Microsoft and 343 is coming to the cloud. So fingers crossed, my expectations are met, and I'll be talking about this game for years to come.
Awesome. What is your what was your best experience playing through the Halo games? Like, what's one of your best memories?
Oh, there was this scene one day, I think it was in 4. This was the last one. I mean, they've got great scenes, but the last one was amazing when you went up to like this. Well, I'm not going to expect people to play it. What I actually find out is that there's scenes where you think everything's going to be all right, and then shit hits the fan, and everything's just falling down. Doesn't matter if it's an elevator falling down, a ship, a wave of aliens just coming at you, and you feel like, shit, this is the end for Master Chief. And you just keep on going, and he's such a badass character that you're meleeing, you're throwing sticky grenades, and in the end, he just fights for his life. And to me, that is what defines the franchise, that he goes above and beyond for the USNC and Earth.
Awesome.
And the universe, because these Halo rings are going to affect the universe. So the way he just goes and fights for the universe is just my epic moments. There's too many to name. And then, of course, hearing that nostalgia soundtrack, that Halo song, when you actually walk into a room, you hear like the original song. To me, that's always epic to hear as well.
Awesome. As I said, I'm excited myself, and this will be the first time I've really actually played a Halo campaign. But it has aspects that I just love about, certain open worlds and whatnot.
But I'm not going to say, but when I see these AIs, when I first see these AIs that have been cured from Ramsey and Cortan, I don't know if I'm going to jump for joy or I'm going to say, you bitch. So I don't know. I'll see. I want to see where the story goes, and I hope it literally is a 10 out of 10. I really want this game to be, amazing.
The amazing thing, because a lot of those who got the copy to do the reviews, the embargo lifted, and a lot of them were saying, have pretty much said the same thing, that as long as the rest of the game plays like what they got to play, it's going to be a masterpiece. And then, it'll be more so, Master Chief versus, God of War, you know what I mean? Like things like that. I'm completely excited, and I'm excited to see everyone else jump in. And the way that it looks and what they showed off, even I'm kind of like, that co-op is gonna take a while to come, because what you get to do in this game, co-op's perfect for it,
But I always feel like that Halo and even God of War, it was just fanboys clashing with each other, and I can't believe like these people weren't playing these epic games. It was either one or the other. And I was lucky to actually play, on multiple platforms. But I'm really glad that maybe Game Pass at a reduced price, free trial, or whatever, can actually get gamers to actually test this game out at a reduced price. And hopefully it'll actually make them want to dive into more of the franchise of past games. So hopefully Xbox knows what they're doing, and they can promote it. And I hope it gets over 10 million like Forza did. I hope it just blows out, and it's a big win for Microsoft.
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be huge, and I feel like everybody's gonna be dialed in and tuned in, so to speak, at upon release to see what the numbers look like. I know myself, once every hour I'm gonna be checking like, where do they now? Because Forza exploded. I knew it was gonna do well, but it exploded. And it was because they exploded by dropping an early access on it. You know what I mean? So with Halo Infinite campaign, I predict the same thing, because the momentum is hot right now. You know what I'm saying? Maker, what is your take on the campaign, especially after hearing Holtz over here?
I mean, I've been watching some of the previews that they've recently been doing, and there's been some pretty great clips that it makes me even more excited to play it. For example, I saw a really funny clip where someone handed one of the Marines, because you can call in Marines to help you out, take out bases and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
And he had a rocket launcher. He's like, "Here you go, buddy," and he gave the guy a rocket launcher. And the guy fired the rocket launcher 10 feet in front of him to the enemy, and it blew up, killing him. And he's like, "Oh, no. I just sent him to his grave."
That's too good.
And then there's another really funny scene, or not a funny scene, but a really cool scene, where a guy runs up to like an enemy encampment. And it's like it's like a full-blown like kind of base with giant walls and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, as he's like killing some of the guys on the outside, they go, "The demon is here. Close the gates." And then you just see like the gates like close up like from the front entrance. And I was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like that they interact based on like what you're doing, and they'll actually become more secure with their site because of you.
So what you're saying is, Halo Infinite is giving us, through the AI, what Cyberpunk was supposed to?
I don't know about that. Like, I definitely think that there's going to be issues with AI. Just about everybody has issues with AI. It never works exactly how you want it to.
Yeah, I don't want them AI moments where you walk through a door and they run at you, then you walk back out the door and they just sort of go back to their own spots.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want that, but like some of these little fun moments, like even in GTA, there's some wacky moments that happen with that, and the fact that I'm starting to see some of that with the preview, where people are encountering these kind of little fun moments that they run into. It's good, and it's also I hope that's not like a super common occurrence. I think it would be.
It's more entertaining when it's not. Yeah.
When it's just like once or twice.
Yeah.
One of my entertaining moments, when I know you just mentioned the rocket launcher, is always throwing a sticky grenade at someone and it sticks to the enemy and you laugh, and just before they die, they throw a grenade at you and you go, "Oh shit, where's that just stuck?" And you realise you blow.
They start running at you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm optimistic, but not too. I don't think it's going to be God of War level. I don't think it's going to be 10 out of 10. but I could easily see it 8 or 9 out of 10 for sure.
See, I don't like giving reviews out of 10 out of 10. I know it's mentioned before, but actually, when I say
I used to do
masterpiece,
5.
when I say masterpiece, I mean masterpiece for that time. The story, the music, the lot was a masterpiece for that time. Because when people go 10 out of 10, they think that it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. So I just say it's a masterpiece, and then
I think I think you're right. I don't think I would ever really give something a 10 out of 10. But there's something of the quality of like God of War or the original Last of Us that to me were exceptional, and that I wouldn't give every game kind of something like of that nature, if that
Well,
makes sense.
Well, as simply put, nothing is ever perfect, but that doesn't mean it's not allowed to be a masterpiece in itself. You know what I mean? Even a masterpiece has its own flaws, but that's part of what makes it so beautiful. You know, so I agree. I agree with you guys too. You know, it's because you can say something as a 10 out of 10 and still recognize that there's something about it that could be better. You know, but who knows? Only time will tell. I personally myself,
See, I used to always hate my teachers that would say, there's always room for improvement. So they'd always, give people like a B because an A is basically impossible in their book. That's just that I don't believe in that mentality. Like if something is as good as if something goes above your expectations and that meets all your criteria at the moment, then it should be a 10 out of 10 situation. Like, why like I see this a lot. Like I used to work in sales, and people would always get like surveys and stuff like that. People would give people like 8s and 7s because they were always told, there's always room for improvement. So they would never rate a 9 or a 10, which that affected our paycheck a lot. So that kind of mentality, like I don't think that that's a fair mentality. Like if it's great and you don't think of any way it could be better right now, give it a 10. Like you don't need to say there's always room for improvement if you can't say what the improvement is.
And then once you go under a certain number, every game gets 5. It's a good game, but people go, "Oof, it's not. That's 5's bad." You've already labelled it, haven't you? That's bad.
Personally myself, I don't like number rankings. I personally don't even really like Metacritic. I mean, I'll recognize it when it's there, like if the news puts it out, but I really try not to pay attention to that stuff. So for me, I will just say, it's nothing wrong if people do that, but I'll just say that as far as Halo campaign goes, I don't know what the game is going to be like. So on a scale from meh to awesome, I think it's going to be freaking awesome. But only time will tell. We shall see. I'm hoping that it comes out with a recognizing that there's always bugs no matter how perfect your game is. It comes out with a flawless release. By flawless, I mean the type of release that Forza had. There were some issues here and there, but they addressed them right away. I would call it a flawless release. Flawless victory.
I hope they get the balance right for new players and old and legacy players. I don't want to be that person that I sound like I'm old going, "They've destroyed my franchise." So I hope they do the balance great where you've got loads of players jumping on, and I've got my fan service and I've got my nostalgia, and I just have the most amazing time with it.
Agree.
One thing I can definitely say about Halo games is they consistently always have a wow factor, if not multiple wow factors in them. I remember playing Halo 1, and you're chasing down the Covenant, and you're trying to figure out what they're doing. You go to one of their bases, you go underground, and you run into the Flood. That shocked the hell out of me. Like, I think I actually felt scared for a little bit there, and I literally took Master Chief and ran.
I remember that scene. It's like they close the bolt doors and the Flood just come through the door, don't they? You're like, oh shit, run.
I'm like, we're never going to beat these guys. So
I remember the first time I actually seen a Brute, and I just ran at him and tried to melee him at the front, and he just went whack and hit me. And then you find the weaknesses, and different characters have got different things, but I've never been amazed that each enemy had certain advantages. And I remember the first time I ever seen an elite run at me, with the big laser sword. I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, what am I going to do with you?
And then what was it? It was Halo 2. You got to play as the Arbiter. And, like that in itself was its own moments in there. Halo 3 was my favorite Halo of all time, and sadly enough, I don't remember a whole lot about the campaign. If I got refreshed, I probably would, but Halo 3 was a big multiplayer game for me. Between Big Team Battle and I don't think it was a custom mode. It could have been, but it was consistently in there. It was called Rocket Race. I just had the best time with Halo 3. And I remember I did do the story in it. Halo 4, I've done them all except for Reach. They've always done really well with some sort of wow factor throughout the series. So I mean, as far as story goes, they're going to have a good story. Is it going to be a great story, or is it going to be a good story? That's kind of where it lies out for me.
Awesome. So any last thoughts before we head on out? All right.
Forward until dawn. The ship. That's what we should do.
Nice. Well, we're all looking forward to the Halo campaign, and we know that a lot of you out there are looking forward to it as well. So upon release, I hope everybody has a blast. I wish a great launch for 343 and Xbox. And man, what a holiday season. This is nuts. It's been crazy. Say what you want about Battlefield 2042, but there's plenty of people having a blast with it. There's so many people having a blast with Forza. There's so many people having a blast with Halo multiplayer, with so many games right now. My wife's having a blast with unpacking. Okay. So, she about to go back and beast all of them achievements. So, it's as they keep saying, it is a great time to be a gamer. The era that we are in right now is breathtaking, for lack of a better word. So with that being said, we'll head on out. But before we do, we'll go through each individual, and they can give you their social where you can find them. Please subscribe. Please follow them. Show them love. These are great minds. Entertaining people, great gamers, and they deserve the love. So let's start with Maker of Chaos. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
For the most part, I mostly just stream for Clouded with Games. So if you go to youtube.com/Clouded with Games, I'm usually on there doing first looks on stuff. So you want to check that out. I also have some articles on their website, cloudy.games. Did a few reviews. But you can check me out on Twitter, Maker of Chaos 12. I believe it should be just how my name's spelled there, but add 12. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Ben, where can everybody find you?
They can find me mainly on Twitch, Cloud Trippin' Entertainment, and then I also post a lot of like clips, highlights, and random stuff that's just funny in general on TikTok as well. The link to my TikTok is and my Twitch. You can find it there. And I'm also, shit talking people on Twitter. So
pretty much. Awesome. And Jojo, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitch as well, Jojo Narak, just how it's spelled here. At least a stream a week, if not usually go for more. But other than that, Jojo Narak on Twitter. I will always post my go lives there.
Awesome. And Holtz, where can everybody find you?
You can catch me on, if you agree or disagree with anything I say, or you want to give us a link, or you actually want to play something, just add me on Twitter, Holtz86, and I'll add you back, and we can, we talk about anything, gaming, movies, or anything, and I'll happily talk. And you can catch me on CGX podcast panel every now and again, because I get the invitations, and they're a great panel to join in to express. You might see me there, and sometimes you might see me in the Stadia community, just hanging out with a few people.
Awesome. And I am your host, Dusty of Nightcrawlers Podcast. Everybody can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Dusty Fredericks. Fredericks is spelled Fredrix. I know I like to be different. I also go live Tuesdays and Thursdays primarily. Sometimes, on the weekend if I can. On YouTube, Twitch, and Trovo. On YouTube, it's just Dusty. You'll see a little white icon, logo face. And then on Twitch and Trovo, it is the Dusty One, number 1, THA, the Dusty One. And then, as always, you'll find me here at Nightcrawlers Podcast. If you guys enjoyed yourselves tonight, please hit subscribe, like, and then turn on the notifications so you can join us for every time we go live. Thank you so much to the panel for being here with me on this evening. It was a great conversation, good time, good laughs. Maker of Chaos came here out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, representing. So we were happy to have him, and we'll definitely get him back in the future. Holtz, definitely got to get you back in the future as well. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday, I believe, for episode 4 of Nightcrawlers Podcast, 7:30 p.m. PST. Thank you so much. Have a good night. See you next time. Peace, everybody.
Yeah.